The night ward. It was a dark, frigid night when Mia stepped into St. Bernard's Hospital for her first shift as an overnight nurse. The air inside was suffocating, a stale mix of antiseptic and despair. This wasn't her dream job. She had always pictured herself working in a lively children's hospital, not in this dreary, understaffed facility on the outskirts of town. But rent was due, and a paycheck was a paycheck. The corridors stretched endlessly, their fluorescent lights flickering, casting unsettling shadows that danced like ghosts on the cracked walls. Mia tried to shake off the unease gnawing at her. She reminded herself it was just a building, just concrete and tiles. Yet something about the hospital felt wrong. Her footsteps echoed as she made her way to the nurses' station on the 6th floor. The ward was quiet, eerily so, with only 6 patients admitted that night. The other nurse on duty, Paula, greeted her with a weary smile. "Quiet night so far," Paula said, though her eyes darted toward the end of the hallway. "But keep an eye on room 609. Paula hesitated. "A woman named Mrs. Thatcher. She's strange. Been here for weeks. Keeps mumbling about the man in the shadows." She shook her head, forcing a laugh. "It's probably just dementia, but something about her gives me the creeps." Mia nodded, trying to brush off the unease. "Got it. Anything else?" "Nope," Paula said quickly, grabbing her bag. "You'll be fine. Call me if you need anything." And with that, Mia was alone. She pushed open the door and was immediately struck by the icy cold inside. The room was dimly lit by a single lamp, casting long shadows across the walls. Mrs. Thatcher sat upright in bed, her frail body trembling beneath the thin hospital blanket. Her eyes were wide, darting frantically around the room. "He's here," she whispered, her voice quivering. "The man in the shadows. He's watching." Mia tried to stay calm. "Mrs. Thatcher, there's no one here. It's just us." The old woman grabbed Mia's wrist with surprising strength. Her fingers felt like ice. "You don't understand. He hides where the light doesn't reach. He feeds on fear." A chill ran down Mia's spine. "It's okay," she said, gently prying the woman's fingers off her wrist. "You're safe here. Let me get you some water." As Mia turned to leave, she heard a faint whisper, a low, guttural sound that didn't come from Mrs. Thatcher. The rest of the night was a blur of anxiety. Every noise, every flicker of light made Mia jump. She couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. Around 4 a.m., she decided to take a break and went to the staff lounge for coffee. The warm liquid did little to calm her nerves. As she returned to her station, she noticed something strange. A trail of wet footprints leading from room 609 down the hallway. Her heart pounded in her chest as she followed the trail. They ended abruptly in front of the supply closet. The door was ajar, creaking softly as it swung back and forth. Mia swallowed hard, her hand trembling as she pushed it open. Inside, the air was stifling, thick with the smell of damp earth. Shelves lined with medical supplies cast eerie shadows on the walls. And then she saw it. A dark figure, hunched over, its form barely distinguishable from the shadows. Mia gasped, stumbling backward. The figure turned its head toward her, and for a split second, she saw glowing red eyes. She slammed the door shut and ran back to the nurse's station, her breath coming in ragged gasps. Paula arrived at 7 a.m., finding Mia pale and shaking. "What happened?" Paula asked, concern etched on her face. "There's something in this hospital," Mia stammered. "I saw it." Paula's expression darkened. "You're not the first. This place, it has a history. Patients talk about seeing things, shadowy figures, voices. A few staff members even quit after night shifts." "Why didn't anyone warn me?" Mia demanded, anger and fear mixing in her voice. Paula sighed. "Because most people think it's just stories, the mind playing tricks in the dark." But Mia knew what she had seen, and as she clocked out and stepped into the morning sunlight, she couldn't shake the feeling that she hadn't left the darkness behind. That night, Mia couldn't sleep. Every creak of her apartment, every shadow on the wall sent her heart racing. She wanted to quit, to never set foot in that hospital again. But something pulled at her, a morbid curiosity, a need to know the truth. The following evening, she returned to St. Bernard's. She told herself it was just another shift, but deep down, she knew she was seeking answers. She needed to understand what she had seen. At midnight, she ventured back to room 619, Mrs. Thatcher was gone, transferred to another facility earlier that day, according to Paula. The room felt empty, lifeless. Mia stepped inside, her flashlight cutting through the darkness. "Show yourself," she whispered, her voice trembling. For a moment, there was nothing but silence. Then, the air grew heavy, oppressive. The shadows in the corners seemed to stretch and twist, reaching for her. A low growl echoed through the room and the figure emerged. A grotesque, shifting mass of darkness with eyes that burned like embers. Mia stumbled backward, her flashlight flickering. The creature loomed over her, its presence suffocating. She felt its cold breath on her skin, heard its voice in her mind, a cacophony of whispers and screams. "Fear," it hissed. "I feed on your fear." Summoning every ounce of courage, Mia raised her flashlight and aimed it at the creature. The beam of light struck its form, and it shrieked, a horrible, bone-chilling sound. The shadows writhed and retreated, dissolving into nothingness. When the light came on, Mia found herself alone. The room was empty, the air still. Hospital, but something inside her had changed. She no longer feared the shadows. She had faced the darkness and survived. But sometimes late at night, when the hospital was quiet and the lights flickered, she couldn't help but wonder, was it truly gone? Or was it still lurking, waiting for the next soul to succumb to fear? Mia's hands would tremble slightly as she gripped her pen or adjusted a patient's IV. The memories wouldn't leave. And the silence was never just silence anymore. She had stared into the abyss, and though she had survived, she knew it was still staring back.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe my channel for more videos.